Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Mad Realm's Vote to Kick. I'm your host, Jim, also known as Malthanis, and with me, my guest, Anthony Ragucci, fresh from his first feeding frenzy of PAX East passes.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it's never fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I waited for 20 minutes. It wasn't that bad.
And then you just have that feeling of once you buy the tickets, and you're just like, okay, now I have time to plan.
Well, the hotel, that's what we're doing now, and I feel like I'm just like shrimp's pressuring me, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Airbnb, dude.
That's what we're trying to do.
Because it's super cheap for that. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
For last week, or 2 weeks ago, because last week was Halloween, and everybody was super busy with the spooky night, me and Deo talked about single-player content in MMOs, and as you can see over here, it would seem that the Keeps have it. I'm sorry, Deo. I'm sorry. It was only 8 votes. It's 5-3 for Keeps.
Did he choose to that side, or did you?
He chose. Guest always chooses. I always give guests the first right to choose. So Deo chose Kick for single player centric.
Really hard one.
Yeah. And he had some valid points. So if you want to look into it, you can go back.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, it was a good video. So this week, while I busy myself with killing all of the responses on this and reopening the poll, delete all responses. Thank you, Google Forms, for working. This week we are talking about physical copies of games.
Yeah.
And Fenris, I believe you should take it away because you're on the keep side of things, right?
I am. So, I'm a big advocate for physical games. Not just physical games like having a box, but like collector's editions. Which, great. To start it off, I guess Guild Wars 2 is a great example. So, physical media, I feel like it just has to stay. There's something about having a physical game that just you really can't beat. And on PC, where mostly everything's digital, you don't have that physical catalog of games. You have your Steam list of 300 games, and 100 of which you probably never touched. There's some truth in that statement. But, we have some companies, like Guild Wars 2 is a great example, where they did physical when they first released, and that was 2012, right? Guild Wars 2? It's definitely 2012.
I believe so.
Okay, so, and we weren't fully in the digital, well, just within the last few years, even consoles have switched over to that digital platform of where, every game, for the most part, is available in a store, not just on PC. But Guild Wars 2 released their game, physically and digitally. And then when there are expansions, they totally ditched a physical platform, which I think is a total loss because I was really looking forward to the Heart of Thorns Collector's Edition, and we didn't have one. No, because I have Ritlocks back there in the dark somewhere, but I have the Ritlock statue, and it's a really good quality statue, and I really appreciate cool collector's editions that come with art books and statues and little trinkets from the game and stuff. And there's no shot at that if companies are just being like, hey, especially on PC, we're not even going to put out a physical copy of the game. We're just going to sell it digitally. I think there's a loss in sentimental value and collectors editions, for lack of a better word. There, I know the last game I bought for PC that was physical was actually Witcher 3 because I bought the collector's edition. But, that was in 2015, and we were definitely into the time where things were pretty much all that games were, for the most part, all available digitally through stores and on consoles and stuff. And I still picked up the physical version of the piece for the PC because it's just how can you pass up that collector's edition, man? Comes with some cool stuff.
Yeah.
And if we don't have, the option, we're not going to get that cool stuff or be able to display our collection of games on, past gens, future gens. We want to have that. So it's something I think that needs to stay.
Yeah, I get that. It's I'll admit I had the steel case box edition of Final Fantasy 12.
I do too,
And
for PS2 and PS4.
And I sold it.
And you regret it?
I kept the art book, as you know, literally the top of that bookshelf right there is just covered in art books. And
I know where it is, but I'm not going to dig for it. Yeah, there you go.
Well, literally the only reason I end up getting a lot of the art books is the physical editions is because, and again, this kind of feels like the loot box stuff because I keep getting the physical special editions. Like I have the second.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is Witcher 3's art book. This thing is huge. It's like art books never get this big. This is rare. Usually I have a bunch of small ones. Even Guild Wars 2 is right there, and it's like longer and it's like half the size. But man, you're not going to get this anywhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe people will resell it, but it's probably really expensive.
Now, one of the things that I do have as a counter, and for those of you who are wanting to feel bad about your Steam archive, www.steamleft.com, it will tell you about how much time you have to play in order to complete the games in your Steam library. I have something like 2,500 hours of gameplay in my Steam library.
Really? Wait, can you see a total?
Yeah, www.steamleft.com. You put in your Steam tag, and it spits out. It takes the hours that you've played and subtracts them from, like, I think the average of time that most people put into a game. But, and this is something that people usually don't think about. There's an environmental impact for having all of those physical copies. You've got the plastic to make the CDs. You've got the foil to create the magnetic medium on the CDs. You've got the casing, so more plastic or metal, usually metal with plastic inside it for the cases. That box, that cardboard, like it's cardboard for the Blizzard special editions anymore, so I can't really.
What the
big ass box that it comes in?
Yeah,
like it's cardboard, so it's not super terrible. I mean,
some of them usually, most of them usually come with a plastic sleeve.
Yeah, it's a lot of plastic and a lot of metal that's just going to sit around and take up space. Now, I'll agree, like having to display that when I'm a person who just has untold, like I have to buy more bookshelves because I have so many books. I am out of bookshelf space. So displaying the games is great, but at the same time, if you have any kind of damage to your property, you either have to go through the effort of replacing the game or just let it go. Sometimes you don't have that option with older mediums.
Yeah.
Not to mention, there are games from the old era of consoles that are just gone because people just deleted it.
Great point, and I totally 100% regret selling my PS2 collection when I got an Xbox 360 and my Xbox 360 collection when I got my Xbox One. I totally 100% regret selling those. Like, not even the fact that I wanted to play them, but like just nostalgia purposes of having that stuff and be like, oh, like look at like some of the games, not really, but like just yeah, like I kept like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy for PS2, and that was it. I still have those. Thank God, I wasn't that dumb.
I don't think I got rid of. I kept most of my PS2 collection, and then it merged with Krista's PS2 collection, and I'm pretty sure our PS2 collection is the largest collection of games we have in the house. So,
how many do you think?
Easily over 20 games, probably closer to 30.
Okay.
Just oodles of PS2 games, but
yeah.
Having a digital collection means that you don't have to track anything down. You don't have to keep CD keys. You don't have to make sure discs don't get damaged when you move.
True.
In a general sense, with internet access and internet speed, hopefully keeping its upward trend of being more accessible and faster, having a digital library is just everywhere. Like it travels with you.
Especially for older stuff, that helps. You know, you're talking about stuff like that, but you know, I'll go into a point that kind of plays both sides, where companies release or sell games and you get a box with a freaking code in it. That is the worst. Mass Effect Andromeda, my friend bought it from Amazon and he got a box. Are you gonna? Oh, I thought you were gonna get something. I was like, oh no, he's feeding right into the point. But yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda was a box with a code in it. It's like, what's the point? I would at that point I want to buy it digitally because it's just a box with a code in it. And then even with collector's edition, I know Halo 5's collector's edition didn't come with a disc, and it's like, what's the point? Like that's why it's kind of why I'm buying it. I want it on a disc. I mean, like it doesn't like change anything, but like. Give me a disc. Like, why not? Like, you're already like packaging this thing. Print me a disc. And that's like goofy, in my opinion.
And Quo brings up a good point in chat. Is indie devs? It cuts down on indie development.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I agree. To play your side a little bit. Indie devs, it's so different. I was thinking about that on my way to work. I'm like, there really is no way for them to be like, yeah, let's just like print these games that are $20. It's not worth it. You know, but for AAA's, it definitely is.
So it's, and again, because we're both throwing out points that are kind of contra to what we're supposed to be arguing. The only issue with the your game library moves with you is I talk about my Steam library. What if Valve folds tomorrow?
I was thinking about that when you said it. I'm like, hey, what if Steam goes downhill? I mean, which it kind of is, in a manner of speaking. Steam's quality isn't as high as it used to be, but the question is like, is another company going to come out of nowhere and be like, yo, look at our platform? Like EA tried to do it. Bethesda has their own thing, but I mean that's only for well, does Origin sell non-EA games?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm not sure about that.
Like and the Uplay launcher. Like honestly, I have a game on a Uplay account. It's a Far Cry 5 Shadow Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I got the code for free because of a video card I bought.
Oh yeah, I got one of those too.
I have never loaded Uplay onto my computer.
Don't.
Don't.
Child of Light on Uplay.
Child of Light is amazing. Don't
it's a
knock
good game.
Child of Light.
I'm not. I have it on Xbox. I play it.
I think the Aurora's theme was Quo's wedding march, so that's
that's really cool.
That's a feels moment for me. But the issue with the people like people seeing Steam and being like, I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon is it's kind of the same where we discussed issues with like Disney creating their own streaming service and DC creating their own streaming service and CBS creating their own streaming service, and basically they're further dividing the market and diluting the platform.
Yeah.
So they're not going to see the crazy success that Steam has because Steam was the first and Steam did the biggest.
It would really take an insane amount of effort to like really topple Steam. So yeah, I think you're safe in assuming that Steam will never go away. I guess we can assume that.
It would have to come with some kind of caveat to, like, if we're dying, we're sending you install files for all of this stuff. Like, I don't know if that's in, like, I don't know if anybody's ever pushed them on that.
That's a thing, yeah. Going back to a point about physical games. So Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out in January, the end of January. And one thing that I really like about some of the games is their cover art. Kingdom Hearts 3's cover art is like fantastic. But I'm getting the deluxe edition of the game. It's not the collector's edition. The only reason I'm not getting the collector's edition is because it comes with some action figures of Sora, Donald, and Goofy in their Toy Story 2 outfits, which I'm not like super about. So I didn't get it because it's like a lot more money. But I got the deluxe edition. It comes with the steelbook. And I'm not 100% sure. The steelbook comes with the cover art that's on the base game, and I'm like, this is an issue. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna, like, I'm trying to find out. I'm like, does this steelbook or does this edition like come with like a regular case? Because I like some of the cover arts for games are really cool, and most often than not, the cover art's kind of just like whatever. But sometimes they're really cool, and they have inverses. Like I know a lot of games nowadays either have inverse covers or the other side is something to look at. So you're also getting, that's something that's cool that you can get.
Did you see the box work they did for Samus Returns? the remake of Metroid Prime or Metroid 2.
No. What is it?
So you have the new art on the exterior of the case, and then if you open the case, you know how like if you turn it, the plastic will pop out and you can like pull the paper out.
Yeah.
The inside of the paper is the Metroid 2 cover art from the original Game Boy release.
That's cool. See, and that's something that like I don't really know why they decided to. Well, PS2 covers, PS2 cases, I know for a fact. I'm not sure about GameCube or Xbox, but they weren't transparent, so it was just black inside.
Yeah.
And now with Xbox 360 and PS3 and 4 and Xbox One, they're all transparent. So I'm not sure who like decided that was like, yo, let's like put something inside. But like it's like it's a quality that like you're not gonna get, you're not gonna get any of that with digital. But if a dev cares about their game and cares about like the physical look for the people who are getting the physical copies of the game, hey, you get this like cool addition with your game. That's not just the case, the cover art, and the disc. But hey, like there's an inside and there's alternate covers, and we don't get manuals anymore or like inserts, but like how you knew a game was worth when you picked it up and it was heavy and you're like, oh, this is
and then you pull the manual out and you could kill someone with it.
Yeah, like Kingdom Hearts has those. Final Fantasy's had heavy ones, but like those have totally gone by the wayside, which is again feeding into your point of it's a waste of paper because they just sit there.
Yeah, it's like once you know what's in them, you know what's in them. And AFK Queen, that's because Australia, like for some reason, the Australian government hates video games. As far as I understand.
Yeah, they do.
So
you get a lot of stuff censored for really no reason.
That and like they're like super expensive. So I understand why it's weird having to, like, I'm guessing ordering in a physical copy is easier and cheaper for you to do than to get it digital. So
and that's something that I guess we don't have experience with, that we really can't talk to, is like, if most games are, besides Nintendo or any like Square games, they're all coming from America, but like even the Square and the Nintendo games are coming from America. Like, they have plants here, I guess, that they're making games, or they're being shipped here, and it's not like where, okay, if you're in Australia or wherever, you're getting it from whoever's buying it is buying it from the US.
I think the localization is usually UK and Australia.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
It's coming from somewhere else. I hope I'm not too wrong about that.
But in general, like that's the thing, is like you'd think that places where the games aren't like manufactured or shipped regularly, you think digital would be the answer, but then stuff like that,
it's weird, and that's laws and stuff that's like a little bit of like above our pay grade here. I don't know about like foreign currency exchanges, but that's a factor in both, apparently. Yeah,
and like, I think that the primary caveats for me for kick for going completely digital is environmental impact, ease of transportation, because it's code, you don't have to transport anything, and safety, because do you have kids? Do you have pets? Do you have crappy roommates? All dangers to a disc.
I thought you were gonna make like an inverse point saying like the cases were dangerous, but I'm like, where's he going with this?
No, the discs are in danger, man.
Dude, when I brought my 360 collection into GameStop, the guy was like, dude, you have the best collection of games I've ever seen. They're immaculate, every single one of them. And I'm like, yeah, because I take care of my stuff. Like, yeah.
Because if a disc comes out, it goes back into its case.
And it doesn't, that's the end of the line. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I take care of my games. I never just leave games out.
AFK Queen does bring up a good point, is that a lot of computers don't have disk drives anymore.
True. That is something I recently thought about. I have a disk drive, but like, when have I used it? Maybe like 4 times.
The only reason I ever use mine is if I'm ripping CDs.
Yeah.
Or if I'm installing one of my old games.
Yeah, and like And just talking for PC, like I don't mean to go against my keep argument, but like digital's been the way for a long time, and that's fact. Like there's even my opinion doesn't stop a fact. Like that's just what it is. But for consoles, we're still kind of. I feel like, I wish we had a statistic on that. How many people on consoles are physical now over digital?
Well, I believe one of the things that so the latest Battlefield, was it 5 now?
Yeah.
One of the key things about its launch that people are saying it's lackluster is the lower sales, but that's just reported box sales.
True. Yeah.
They still have
sales aren't reported.
A crazy number of digital sales, but box sales of even marquee annual releases from big developers are dropping because people can just order it online.
Yeah.
So.
And then get your code in a box.
Now, I'll admit I do have
backwards.
I do have one game that is a code in a box, but that's the Bayonetta 2 port to the Switch because it has the Bayonetta 1 code in it.
Okay.
So
sure.
It's like there's a physical game.
They're backwards compatible games. All right.
There's also another game in there, but
I think it's funny because I feel like we're both in a way playing to each other's sides because like there's a lot of fact in this debate where like digital is a thing and it's not going to go away, but like physical is still a thing, but it could go away.
Yeah.
But it may not be today and probably isn't going to be next year, but 10 years down the line, who knows? We can't really say. Because 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when we were just entering this digital era, we've been in the digital era for a while, but more for the games industry, I probably couldn't, what was on the Xbox store was its indie games, all of them, not the AAAs. And then slowly over years and years and years, the digital marketplace became a thing where that was a viable way to buy your games. It wasn't just going out to GameStops, which actually that goes into another point. Midnight releases for games are like disgustingly like stupid now. Like there's just no point and there's no fun in going to them because there's like not a lot of people show up.
I am 100% okay with going that because literally all of the posters and stuff that I have for games
are from those.
Yeah. And I'll go mostly because I am now friends with the manager at the GameStop that we go to. Well,
I know mine.
I just go in and I talk to him because every so often we'll just go into the mall and walk around to have our quota for people on the weekend because we don't want to turn into complete hermits. And we'll just stop in and we'll talk. And then one of our friends also used to work there, so we'd go visit him, and then we got to know the manager. But talking to people about games is one of the reasons why I like going to a store. And again, I'm kind of jumping into
either talking to like the people working there or like at midnights I find myself doing the same thing, like just talking to random people about stuff we're in line with.
What was it? We ran down to the one of the GameStops that our friend moved to manage to pick up a copy of Assassin's Creed Origin.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a line of easily 30 people to pick up Spider-Man.
Oh, you mean Odyssey?
No, Origin. We picked up a used copy of Origin.
Oh, okay.
We only just got Origin, yo.
I was like, wait, what?
Generally speaking, I don't buy games until well after the fact.
There's something that I didn't say. I started buying games off Amazon physically. So I get them shipped to my house, and that's only because, well, they had a pre-order discount, which got discontinued. I don't know if you know about that. Amazon stopped doing it. I'm not sure how phased out it is, but I don't know because everything I pre-ordered was before that date. But so I'd get like if I bought a $60 game, I'd probably get it for like $53. Which GameStop really can't compete.
It cuts out the tax basically.
Yeah, well, but
tax.
How many games are we buying? Really, they save a lot of money. And hey. I can't pick up my game at midnight, and maybe I can't play it the day of until the night. Well, now that I work, that's not a factor anymore. But, like even Kingdom Hearts, I got it on Amazon, and I'm like, like maybe I should like just get a normal version on PS4 and just to have the box art and like buy 2 copies of the game. I'm like, Jesus Christ. like, it's like, I'll just go do
Truly,
it. Man.
truly, you are a Kingdom Hearts super fan.
I'll have 2 copies. Like, what am I?
Well, you can keep one like pristine and put it in a case, and then you can sell it years down the line. But probably not.
Frame it, shrine it, and like worship.
But we're kind of talking in circles here. So major points.
It's a tough conversation. It really is, because like there's a lot of facts in this argument. It's not necessarily
a feels kind of thing. Yeah. So for the kick side, digital, like I said, safe from the dangers of your household, children, pets, bad roommates. Easy to move with you because it's easy to lift binary numbers, and you don't have to keep track of anything. It's just there. Yo. I have people who borrow and never return. Yeah, that's always a danger too.
I don't
on the keep side.
So on the keep side, you have your physical collection that you can show off to your friends in your man cave, because like that's what it's about. It's about, look at this wall of games that I don't have. That my games are over there, but there's not that many.
The immaculately tended and dusted collection shelf.
This has been cataloged alphabetically in release date order, sir. I know people who kind of do that, but you have this collection of physical games, especially for older generations of consoles. You're like Metal Gear Solid or Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasies. They're coming with inserts. They're coming with cool stuff that that you wouldn't have if you. Well, I guess for the game you wouldn't have it, period, unless it got ported. But for today's games, sometimes your games come with cool bonuses, whether it's a collector's edition or they have something printed on the inside or alternate covers. Like, you're not getting that at all, and I feel like there's definitely just a missed sense of value to your game when it's just not physically a thing. Exactly. See, you can't get that with a digital copy of the game, can you? No, you can't.
Honestly, I actually rebought Darksiders 2 for the definitive edition so I could replay it in preparation for DS3.
I don't think I'm getting that on launch, but I'm definitely going to pick it up. But I think what would force, not to go off on another tangent, but if a days comes that an Xbox or Microsoft or Sony's be like, hey, we're ditching the disc tray, see ya, then the industry changes by force. Or we get digital codes with our games, and that's what it is.
It's one of those things like Wispy brings up for music on Amazon is digital is the default with an option for physical.
Who buys physical discs anymore? Isn't that really funny? We're having this, we could have an inverse conversation with music and it would be a totally different thing.
Yep. Well,
That's
I think
really
it's
strange.
I think it's one of those things where it's like with music, it's easier to buy a single track now. Because sometimes you like 30 to 50% of the tracks on an album, and
or you get the hits.
Yeah. Or you'd have to wait to get the hits. So it's one of those things where it's easier to pull the trigger on buying something because it's 99 cents or $2 or whatever it is for a song these days. I love that song. Just throw wallet at screen.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the last
spending what is it, $10 or $15 on a CD where you maybe don't like everything on the disc, but with a game, there's no way to piecemeal a game.
Yeah, you can't buy
as much as EA wants us to think that. But you're right. It's this is something that was already discussed with this is a bygone conclusion with music. Music has pretty much already moved to digital, except for the resurgence of vinyl recently.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's and there's niche markets for games kind of as well. I've been thinking about just buying every copy of every Metal Gear game because I gotta. I'm just you know what? I'm gonna go into a retro con, which they have a ton of those around me, conventions for like older generations of games.
Get an NES just to play the original Metal Gear.
And just like find like a really good copy of MGS1 or like MGS2 and just like, because I never owned those games like physically, so like that would be cool. Like I don't know, like that, like they would just sit around. I wouldn't play them. But
all hail our Mad Lord
all hail
Kojima.
God King Kojima, save us.
Okay, so I think we're kind of churning our wheels here on this topic. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear what you have to think. And we've been talking to chat, all the points here. And, we've got the poll link for one more time for anybody in chat who may have missed it. But for those of you who are watching on YouTube, that will be in the description. And once you cast your vote, talk about why you chose what you chose in the comments. I'd appreciate to hear it. So, thank you all very much for watching. I've been your host, Malthanis. You can find me on Twitter at MalthanisMMO. My friend Anthony Ragucci, you can find him on Twitter at _the_gooch_.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like, how can I say this better? I was like, at the gooch, put an underscore before and after every word. There you go.
I don't know. For some reason, I have more fun saying it the way I did. But you can also find him on his own network, the Delco Nerd Network, which I believe is the YouTube channel.
Yeah, you can actually find us on all podcast services, both Android and what's the other one? iTunes. We do reviews for games, and we also do topical shows where we just talk about a topic that necessarily isn't games, but could be movies or comic books or something in the nerd culture realm. Dude,
we gotta get that. We gotta get this movie thing going at some point.
I gotta tell you something after.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this channel goes live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Vote Kick, and then afterwards we have Zero to Hero, our Guild Wars 2 PvP shenaniganery. Hope to see you all sticking around for that, and then we also go live on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Guild Wars 2 news podcast, Talking Script, with my fellow co-hosts Age, Arlie, and Deo. We might actually see Age this week. I think he's getting a break from work. He's been on a death march lately. So
yeah, I haven't seen him in raids in like 2 months.
I know what he's going through.
We're going to PAX together. Like, he might not even show up.
That's nuts.
I think he's dead. It's not him.
But, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a fantastic evening, and I hope to see you next Wednesday and maybe on Saturday for Talking Script. Have a good night, everybody.
See you later.